I'm retro, let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. Yeah, it's lit in the chop shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based to debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30, let's do a first take. On Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray and Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal. To the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket. Put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he see me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the chop shop, cause they cutting up. It's retro, coming to you live to the chop shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the chop shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the chop shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, we live in the chop shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the chop shop. We in the chop shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the chop shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks. I just popped him on the screen. Jimmy, and got something for you. Jimmy, you come up just a little bit in the screen. We're coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world via Facebook Live and guess what? YouTube Live simultaneously. Let me tell y'all something. It's gonna be a great day today. It's some stuff happening in sports that I just never heard of. I mean, we got a special guest today, but let me tell you something. It's Thursday. It's a historic day in sports. The NFL, the NHL, the NBA, the Major League Soccer, WNBA, Major League Baseball, all in action today. Never happened before. And U.S. Open tennis. All this happening today. Before I go any further, let me give a shout out to my starting five. Our starting five we affectionately call them because they are the first 5 viewers that pop up on either screen via Facebook Live or YouTube Live. Let me call them out. Martin Vaughn, YouTube. Mindy Collins, Facebook. Todd Holmes, Charles Holmes, Facebook. Rick Brown, Facebook. And Rod Wells, Facebook. And guess what? Our 6th man of the day is Derek Johnson. He coming in on YouTube. YouTube coming in strong. But Jimmy, I mentioned this historic day. You know, these crazy times we're having. But for sports fans, y'all should be in heaven. And we're going to have a game tonight, the Houston, Texas. Texans that will be playing tonight, I guess at Arrowhead Stadium. Jimmy, 17,000 fans allowed. I guess that's the 25% of the fans that can be there in the stadium. What else we got? Hey, Jimmy, when we got off the show yesterday, and I don't want to go, I know we had basketball games last night, and I want to talk about the basketball game. But you text me at 2:30 something while and you said, man, we forgot to talk about blank. Jimmy, what the hell is going on with Daniel House? No, I'm not going no further. I don't care about no game. What the hell? You. Jimmy, tell me what you wanted to tell me. At 2:36 yesterday, I got the text. You text me, said, Adam, I got something on the house situation. Whenever you come up in the screen just a little bit more, you still down a little low. That's all right. Take that hat they ain't gonna take the hat off. We're gonna get the hat. Jimmy, what the hell? I got my part, but I want to know what the hell, because I got some more, but I can't go no further. What's going on with Daniel House, man? Come on.
I mean, we had the news. I had the news on yesterday, and
I understand you did
with Daniel House, and we just forgot. We talked Rockets, and we rolled right through it, and we never got a chance to get back on it. I forgot we got to talking about the grassroots topics and as we normally do in the back nine, and so I'm just I hate that Chop Shop wasn't. Not I hate just. The Chop Shop could have broke that news to you guys and would have broke that news to you guys, because I definitely had it, and that was, which is now they publicize it, so it's out there now. So it's not necessarily a day old donut, but what I had yesterday was pretty much right on the mark. That it was a young lady, and if I told you how that it was a young lady who was on the staff, and I didn't know exactly what her position was. I knew she was working on the property. Because understand the way that thing is set up, there's cameras on the floors, there's cameras in front of each room. So the only way for her to get in is to either pose as a housekeeping. You see what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it for a female.
Jimmy, somebody sent me this morning. If she looked like this, I ain't mad at Daniel House. Somebody sent me this picture, but keep going. Keep on talking. I'm just saying, it's going to pop up on the screen.
Is that supposed to be her?
Huh?
Is that supposed to be her?
No.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy, if that was her, Jimmy, I ain't mad at him no more. That's all.
But
I
was able to confirm that
going.
I knew that it was not that. When also yesterday I was there, I was hoping to let you guys know that the rumors about the female broadcaster, it was not her.
Yeah,
now, I did know
but
it.
Jimmy, hold on, let me help you. Taylor Rooks, because she's a beautiful young lady. Jimmy, see if how high your volume is. I hear some kickback from me, but Taylor Rooks has been rumored with the they talking about she messed with Donovan Mitchell, and she's almost one of the most beautiful women on the property, and so everybody is just smearing that girl through the mud, not through the mud, just every time it's a mishap, they always putting her name out there, especially on social media. But Jimmy, you can continue. Her name Taylor Rooks. I just wanted to let you know that was.
And so, bottom line, the way that I had got the story yesterday was that he tried to get the girl in the room, but now the reports, like I say, that's close to the mark. Because my thing is, would you really get suspended the whole game for trying to get somebody in the room? I say, but then sure enough, it came out there saying that she actually went into the room. But once again, there's only one or two ways that a female, the way that there's security on every single floor, not just one officer. There's multiple security guys. So that means you got to work. It ain't no, guess what? You can, some of those guys, just like Secret Service, you can find a way for them to look the other way or tip the bartender, but she had to have been disguised in some form or fashion to get into the room. Remember the football player tried to do it earlier. Wasn't it a football player that got cut? He tried to dress up the girl or get the female to dress up as a guy. So this thing now, Daniel House, he's married. So Daniel
engaged, Jimmy, I thought.
Well,
engaged.
that's the difference. That makes it worse. Well, not worse financially, but worse mentally. Mentally is worse, because that means now your heart in it. And you think about it like this: do you think that Daniel House, if he was able to play tonight, which they're holding him out tonight as well, that he would be able to focus on basketball totally? So,
Jimmy, my thing is, Jimmy, since she was in the bubble and she's been cleared, uh, it wasn't no out. He wasn't in danger of hurting the whole bubble. Why such severe punishment?
No, no, well, because here's the thing. The thing is, the people from what I get is that the NBA and the Players Association.
They had
It's one thing you trying to smuggle you a piece of meat in the room. That's one thing. But the thing is the irresponsibility that comes with it. Now, even though this young lady was part of the staff of one of like the testing and stuff,
Yeah.
she was with the staff.
Yeah.
But still, she could have had contracted the COVID, and you don't even know.
But Jimmy,
So
the staff had to get checked every day too, like them.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you did it once, and here's the thing, it's the fear of the unknown. That means if you did it once, then now they have to go back and look through the cameras and making sure that you even halfway telling the truth, because you denied this. How we know it didn't happen 2 days ago with somebody else?
But
How did they know?
But Jimmy, I found out. Okay, but I found out all the staff. I did all the staff, the people who administered, the doctors. These people have to go through these same protocols. They stay on staff. That's why it costs so much money.
But here's a difference with the players. Now, I did find this out, and it's kind of crazy. You say, man, the players, how they're in their suites, right? For them to get out of this room before the door can open, they have to blow a certain level of, like when you're blowing those bubbles. You ever had somebody with one of the respiratory that they have to blow into the tube, and it has to produce a certain number before their door even open. If they don't blow that proper number, then it's automatically they have to stay in their room until the physician come up to their room. So they're going through those type of lengths to protect those players. And the thing is with House, you understand something. If this would have been Harden, sure, I don't think it would have been this extreme. It would have been Westbrook, but your House. You're a guy who, remember, the coach had just gave his first public favorable arm-bracing words about Daniel House all season. Remember, because people were questioning Mike D'Antoni about why House wasn't starting early on, and he was like, "Well, Covington is better," and he just basically said, "This dude is better." And he's like, "Well, he can do it." And so it basically he had just came the day before and gave the favorable stamp to Daniel House.
That ain't got to do nothing with that testosterone. You can give me all the favoritism and give me some publicism. But let me tell you something. He been plotting up. Daniel House saw this woman the first day he was tested. And he said, man, I got to figure this thing out. And all of this time, and man, I mean, Jimmy, what high school did he go to?
He went to High Tower. But and another question that Michael Smith asked, he said, what about the young lady? Are they going to send her home? Now, as of yesterday, nobody has seen that young lady anymore over the past 2 days. So that means it's probably safe to say either she's been, think about it, you're only a week and a half from the conclusion of the season. Maybe like 2 weeks, a week and a half.
Set him up,
so
Jimmy.
It's safe to say that she's been dismissed or relieved of her duties or sent home. Nobody has seen her. They saw her every doggone day before 2 days ago. So
Jimmy,
that's the question.
LeBron set that man up, man. I ain't mad. LeBron was snitching. LeBron snitched on that girl. But Jimmy, then I found out, and I don't know when they moved them around, but the Rockets are the only team staying in that particular hotel right there where the testing site is. So that girl stay in that hotel. They stay in the hotel where the testing site is.
Yeah.
So Daniel House done plotted that up for a while. Hey, let me tell you something. I just Jimmy, he from Houston, Jimmy, that's enough. Jimmy, let me show you something. Let me show you stuff. You the godfather of Houston basketball. You're the gatekeeper. All of this stuff is under your watch. That's one of your kids. No. I know when he go pro, you talking about you ain't got no dick. He's one of your kids. He came through there. Jimmy, you got to get a control over this summer basketball stuff. They're going crazy on Twitter. They're going crazy in the bubble. Come on, man. Come on.
I mean, it's the thing about it, like I said, Daniel House has been averaging about 11 points a game this postseason, and which they in the losses with the Lakers, especially the most recent one, it was a winnable game, and they could have. And you look back, I was like, man, we could have used it. And Daniel House, once again, he hadn't been over the past 2 seasons with the Rockets, even when he was in the midst of re-upping between the season. He hasn't been like the best employee, and so sometimes whenever you get in trouble, your rope is shorter, and a lot of people, they go back and have buyer's remorse. Like, I knew it,
Jimmy,
this guy.
I got a question.
How could you not get it?
I got a question for you. Do you think he ever play again in a Rocket uniform?
Well, he signed a 3-year deal.
Oh, they cut you,
I think,
Jimmy.
but it's 3 years, 11 million. So that's not that's much enough. But at the same time, it just depends.
Jimmy,
it depends on.
They have morality clauses in the contract. Okay, I don't know if that got to do anything with morality, but Jimmy, you got to realize, for him to have those suspensions, the Players Association had to agree to it. Guess who is the president of the Players Association?
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Yeah, Chris Paul. Yeah.
Guess who he best friends with? I'll wait. See, sometimes I know. I think outside the box. Listen.
There's no, understand. First of all, Daniel House denied it with the organization for a whole half of a day. So that means when you denied it and you try to act like it wasn't, then that means now that's part of not accepting responsibility, and not being remorseful for what you did. And guess what? Sometimes that goes into the punishment phase, because once again, Daniel House is not the first guy to compromise from the NBA this season in the bubble, to compromise the bubble. There are guys that had snuck out of the bubble when they first got there a couple of times. So he's not the first.
The guy went and met Jimmy. The guy went and met the food person, man. They went to meet the food person. They went past the gun line. They went past the gun line.
Yeah.
They ain't snuck out,
absolutely.
but for some food.
One of them went and met the food person, and one said he was going to get on the way to go and pick up delivery. So, but at the same time, how do we really know?
All I'm saying is, Jimmy, all I'm saying, let's say Daniel House been doing it. Why they just messing with him now, since they playing the Lakers and LeBron James? Jimmy, he might have been knocking her off in the first round.
That's what I'm saying to you. That's what they're looking back. That's what I'm saying. That's what the NBA, that's what they're doing. They're going back and reviewing.
LeBron James got something to do with this, man. That's my conspiracy theory. Just I can believe what I want to. LeBron want to win bad. You seen his hairline? He want to win. He ain't got too many more years.
Let me tell you something. There's one guy on that Rockets team that has a history of wanting to see them come on up in there and make it rain. So if they send something to the room, they know what room.
He had his imported in, like a real G. He had his imported in. Now, since you want to talk about him, he had his imported in.
So
okay.
So that's and understand. And even if LeBron did it, who cares?
I care.
That's part of the game. Bottom line. Why? Hold on, Hannah. You want to go back? And you said, let me quote you. If the Houston Rockets gotta rely on Daniel House in the playoff, then we're done. That's
no.
Quote unquote.
I said
Robert Haller,
to be a championship team. If Daniel House is starting on this team. That's what I said, Jimmy. Don't.
You said they got to rely on him.
Yeah. But guess what, Jimmy? But guess what?
Russell,
hold on. But I don't mind him coming off the bench and hitting 5 or 6 points and playing defense. I said championship team. Then guess what? They ain't no championship team. See that? Don't leave what I said out. He ain't no championship, but he's a part of the team. So you can sit there and make an excuse for his ass if you want to. If you're a part of the team, dude, come on, man. What if LeBron did sick that girl on him? What if, say, hey, I know he'll go. He didn't ship his fiancée in like everybody else did. He'll go. Go get him. I'll pay. If they put you out of here, I'll pay for it. I got to win a championship. Let me tell you something, man. Hey, never underestimate a man of power. That's all I'm got to tell you. All I got to tell you. Because, Jimmy, what you said? I'll wait 5 years to get in. I'll wait 5 years to get you back. I'll play like I ain't. I'll wait 5 years. Never underestimate people. I'm telling you. Never underestimate it. But I can't. I'm done with him. I mean, to me, I don't respect this at all. I was kidding about the girl. She is kind of bad, but that's not the girl. I hope that if that was the girl, I wouldn't be so mad at it. But do me a favor. Do we have some Daniel House friends on the Facebook feed? I'd like to hear from y'all. Let me turn my fan on, Jimmy. Go on, talk.
And of course, the Rockets are back in action this evening, and I'm just so glad that the NBA got it right with the scheduling of the 6 o'clock game, knowing that the Houston Texans versus the Chiefs is like a 7:20 kickoff. That is, I was wondering because the games that they did each round, I don't know if you guys noted it or not, but they did not set the times of each game until the previous game was over. Then they would set the time, because you don't know if some team would be eliminated or it would be one game or two games. So they didn't know. So this game was a TBA. They made it a 6 o'clock tip, which is Central Time, which is essentially a 4 o'clock tip in LA. And so it means fans in Houston get a chance to actually absorb the Rockets and watch the Houston Texans and the Chiefs, which we're going to talk about shortly, and debut our 2020 rendition of our weekly Foot NFL picks. So, but meanwhile, it's time to go into the break, and we come
Jimmy,
on right
Serena
back.
Serena playing tonight too, Jimmy.
And so, yeah, Serena is back in action in the semifinals of the U.S. Open as well, and we're looking for her to keep continuing to kick some butt. And what about Osaka? Isn't she in the semifinals too?
Uh-huh.
On the other side, she's on the other side. So hopefully we can be root for this black magic to take effect. But meanwhile, you guys hang right there, share the show with your timelines, with your friends, with your hoop groups and whatnot. The Chop Shop, it's Baby Friday, baby. It's going down today.
So, Mike, when that happens, is that a situation where you just need to demand the ball more on offense? You're looking for sets to be run, or you need to cut more? What are you looking to do to get yourself more involved when you're not touching the ball?
I mean, that's really up to the play calls. It's really up to the coaches who they want to put the ball in whose hand. We kept going to Yoke and Maul, and that's I think they're two amazing players, so you can never get mad at that. But I just think to beat that team, we got to get more players involved. We got to move the ball a little bit better. We can't be predictable against that team.
All right, I have no hands right now. All right, we'll go back to Mike Singer. Mike, go ahead.
Mike, are you at a place, I know it's your rookie year, but are you in a place where you can voice that concern and that thought to Malone, or do you just kind of just let him dictate?
Nah, I think, if I'm going to be out there on the floor playing a lot of minutes, I think I should voice that. So I'll probably talk to the coaches, just tell them what I see being out there on the floor, just letting them know, look, like they know what we're doing. Like, we got to swing the ball. We got a lot of players who can play basketball and score, so we got to get some more guys involved.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim the Cheat Sheet Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. And before I go any further, I want to say a happy birthday to Bryce Griggs today. So if you got his social media handle, send a shout out to him. Happy birthday to the young fella today. I don't know if he's watching or not, but somebody watching, let him know. Happy birthday from the Chop Shop. Now, Jimmy, where you want to go from here, Jimmy? Because I see. Where you want to go? Where you want to go from here?
We talk some more NBA,
yeah.
And then we got football. Then we do our picks next segment because we got a guest coming at the top of the hour. I think so, and a special guest that we're going to talk some grassroots basketball, and also in revisit some of the topics of interest of this past week among the youth sports sector. But also last night, I got my wish. I was good last night. I mean, the Raptors and the Celtics. I was rooting for Game 7. I know Miami Heat is clinched. They're waiting on the winner. But this series, I just wanted Toronto to throw to go down swinging. And in a game like last night, you saw Kyle Lowry finally, he came to life. 33 points. Van Fleet didn't have a really great shooting night, but he had his moments, had his fingerprints on that win because it did more. He didn't have a good shooting night. He was 7 for 22, missed 15 of those 22 shots. He only had 21 points, but he had 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks from the guard. And the thing is, they still managed to win, right? Powell came up big off the bench. 23 points, 3 for 6 from behind the arc, hit the free throws to clinch, to preserve the victory. And all of this despite the fact that Siakam basically stunk last night. Stunk offensively.
Well,
Siakam, 5 for 19 from the field, 0 for 5 from three-point land, 12 points. I mean, he had eight rebounds. He had 6 assists. He had 2 blocks. But Siakam, and they still won this game. Boston, did it appear to you that they just may have been a little bit too cocky after those first 2 wins?
I don't know, Jimmy. Let me tell you what I thought about. Last night, I was watching the game, and Kyle Lowry, let me go with Kyle Lowry. He had a quintessential game last night, Jimmy. He has been in a lot of playoff games. He got a ring, and I don't know if I can say it was one of his greatest performances, but I don't know if it's fair. It's fair to say that really in a second round game, but it was an elimination game. He played for 53 minutes, man, last night. Had 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Felt like he played the whole night with 5 fouls, Jimmy. Felt like, in a real time, about an hour with 5 fouls, and he played with it. And I saw the plays that he made. he was only credited with 2 steals, but it felt like when I was watching it, he stole the ball because he got his hand on so many balls. But Jimmy, I was remembering this time, y'all, and ladies and gentlemen, I just want to help y'all out. I remember this time about 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know, they played the Cavs. He was playing so poorly, Kyle Lowry, right? He was playing so poorly, he basically had to take a mental break and walk back to the locker room in the middle of the game. And he got destroyed for not being mentally tough that day. I'll never forget it. Jim, I don't know if you remembered it. I'll never forget it. They was talking about he not being a finisher, not being that guy who can deliver in the playoffs. It was just about, but it was just about a message about being, to me, it's a message to all these young people about being mature, maturation, and sticking with it. Because Kyle Lowry is now one of the most mentally tough players that I've seen in this playoff. And it was crazy. They didn't have no subs in the fourth quarter. Jimmy, I don't know how long you watched the game. They didn't have no sub. They seemed I mean, it was crazy. But I learned never underestimate the heart of a champion. Rudy T coined that phrase. And the shot making in the third overtime, given how long everybody wasn't making no shots, wasn't nobody making no shot. Those guys hit about 6 or 7 consecutive, back and forth. I mean, it was crazy, man. And I enjoyed it. Then I saw them tough threes. You hit it into the game after 53 minutes. These guys was hitting tough threes. I mean, it was an unbelievable game. But I shout out to Kyle Lowry. Young guy used to play in Houston, and I know Jimmy, you said he had some problems here, and but that guy came up big last night, man. He came up big last night.
I mean, and that's what you expect. That's what I mean when I say if a team is going to go down swinging with all of your guys, pretty much with most of your cylinders clicking. Now, last night for Boston, Kemba Walker was that guy who stunk it up. How about this stat line? Check this out. 2 for 11 from the field, 1 for 6 from three-point land, 0 steals, 3 turnovers, 5 punts in 52 minutes. I said again, 52 minutes.
Stunk it up.
So Kemba is your number 2 on this team.
And that's the guy that they get rid of.
That's
Kyrie,
the guy that they trade.
Bring him in.
Yes.
Okay.
So Kemba has no choice but to produce in Game 7. If nobody's going to produce in Game 7, it better be him. Because that media is about to turn on him like none other in that Boston area. Now, Marcus Smart has totally changed the perception of him from a lot of people who just really didn't know Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart he's increased his wealth coming up. His stock is going out through the roof. Understand, he had 6 threes last night. Marcus Smart is that guy. I mean, it's like Marcus Smart done turned into Kemba. Kemba turned into the old Marcus Smart. Because you know Marcus, what he brings to the court on the defensive end. He's that tough guy. He's that bouncer. He's that guy that's rolling with the crew that if something going down, he don't even care that he on paper. He's still ready to set it off. That's Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He's ready to set it off wherever he at.
Talking crazy after the game last night. Man, get on out the building. The dude going right down the street in the hotel. If you that tough, catch him outside. You don't have to do all that.
And Haller, one thing I noticed last night is that keep your eyes on this bench.
What bench?
For the Celtics. I understand they're a man down, a man short, but guess what? At this point in time, who's not Who's not a man down besides the Clippers? Think about it. I mean, for real, the Lakers are a man down. Avery Bradley.
Hold on, let me make sure my Clipper. You see them shirts them Clippers coaches had on last night. We gotta have some of them for the shop. Wait a minute. Hold on. Will you wear a Clipper shirt? Will you wear a Clipper shirt? Because you know you're a little particular about the shirts you wear.
You know, I'm down. You know, I'm down with Patrick Beverly.
Okay. Hold on. Let me call.
You know, hold on now. Hold on. Isn't Jonathan Motley on that roster?
Not no more.
Oh, did he? Not no more?
No.
Okay. I'm down with Sam. Sam, remember, I got to go and pull up. Monday, I'm going to pull up the old magazine, guys, when Sam actually was featured in one of the old editions of the magazine about 10 years ago. And next week, I'll go in the archives and pull that copy out. But so I'm down with Doc Rivers. I've always been down with Glenn Doc Rivers since the days at Marquette.
Yeah.
I mean, you had no choice but to watch NBC. You wanted to watch basketball back in those days. So, but I'm looking at the bench. They only got 16 points from combined. Remember Robert Williams, who from Texas A&M, played with the Houston Hoops from Louisiana. He had 4 points, but then he only played 8 minutes. This is what I'm saying about the bench. The other Williams, 7 minutes. Simi, the kid went to Duke and then went on to SMU.
I know
5 minutes.
Jimmy, I know
Hell.
the playoffs is different, Jimmy.
I understand that. Playoffs is different, but when you see if that's the way you roll every game, but when you in certain games, this was an overtime game. So I mean, that was more minutes to be played. And you only had one guy that played off the bench more than 10 minutes, more than 8 minutes.
I can't wait to talk to next time I talk to a coach. I'm gonna say, man, tell me what's about these minutes. Soon as we get off the phone, I'm calling Doc Rivers. Man, what the hell is Jimmy loves these minutes? Explain the minutes.
Hey, I love my affection from the bench is simple to connect the dots because I rode the hell out the bench. So therefore, all the other guys y'all started. Y'all don't know what the bench. See, that's the whole thing about basketball. Everybody tell you about starting, what the starter's supposed to do. You don't know, you don't have diddly what the bench guy is supposed to do. See? Do you? No. None of the guys that rode the bench. Until you got to college, maybe, if they even played. So you don't, and if you did, you think you spent the 3 to 4 years blaming the whole system and everybody got it wrong. I'm a bench rider in basketball.
Hey, Jimmy. Cecil doesn't. Evidently he ain't been on the show in a while, right? He said, Hatter, I know you know that some people are not ready for prime time. For example, Harden is a great player, but not merely tough enough. Ready for Cecil. I spent 30 minutes talking about that on the show yesterday. Go back on YouTube. Cecil, do me a favor. Go on YouTube and go back and I had about a 20-minute soliloquy on James Harden. It's just not. Jimmy, speaking of the Rockets, guess what I might do tonight? I got a link today, Jimmy. I don't know if anybody else got one. This is my first time getting it, so let me be excited. I got a link to participate, to be on the fan board behind the Rockets tonight. Should I do it, y'all? Should I do it? It's up to the beat. Should I get on there and be on the screen so y'all can see me tonight? Jimmy, quit hating, Jimmy, quit hating. But I see it in your eye. Hey, I just want to know. It's up to y'all if whether or not I got the link, Jimmy. Jimmy, I can't see you. I send you the link. You're gonna be able to send it to everybody. But you don't know the password. But let me tell you something, man. Should I do it tonight? I'm not going to be on the Lakers side. I'm on the Rockets side. So I'm just letting y'all know. So, Jim, let's get back to it. I'm just letting y'all. Man, Freight said hell no. He was a hater, Freight. Come on, Jimmy. Come on, man. There's some haters, man. Freight a hater.
Oh, man. I'm done. I'm done.
Hey, I know people in high places, man. Hey, Jimmy, they said, Mr. Hatter, they sent me the link this morning, and I said, yes. Okay, now let's go.
But Hatter, you know what?
What we
We
got?
got coming up next segment. We can go it on and
Come on, let's knock these picks out.
and knock our picks
How we
off
gonna do
next
it? What's the
segment.
rules? Let's get the rules right, because you the cheat. Lori gonna keep up with it for us, but she already know you're a cheat. So
No,
that's why she said, Hatter and Jimmy, do you need me to take advantage? Lori done been through she know I've been cheated on for years. So guess what? Lori is going to be the official scorekeeper. So Jimmy, what's the rules? What's the rules?
Let me tell you.
What?
The rule is the simple same rule that's been in effect before for the last 2 years. That means we rotate picks. That means either you're taking the spread or you're giving the spread. And that's what keeps it fun, guys, because certain games, if you had to do a pick 'em, it wouldn't be that much fun. So the spread, you're taking the spread, and you have the way that we do in the Chop Shop. If it's your pick, you have the option to defer that pick. I mean, I'm sorry, either you're taking it or you're giving it. That's what I mean by deferring. So the spread is set, and we normally always go by the spread that is listed in the Houston Chronicle, our local newspaper. And the opening line, we take the current line, not the opening line. We take the current line when we go on that Thursday, because the opening line came out a week ago, and something could have happened, and which to make the line shift a little bit. We take the current line, and that's what we go against. So if you have a Houston Chronicle or nearby, next segment, we're going to dive into those picks. And at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by a special guest to talk some grassroots basketball. You guys, meanwhile, how much time we got for the break, Hal?
Man, let me see.
Well, while you get ready to queue up,
Uh-huh.
I want to share with you guys some quick news. Throw this in real quick. That is, the Astros split yesterday with the Oakland A's. They split the day before, so that's 2 splits. And of course, but last night, the news of the night was the fact that the Atlanta Braves scored 29 runs against the Miami Marlins. 29-9, guys. That's what the score was last night. 29-9. And that's the most runs since, like, I mean, shoot, I don't know how many years, but it's a bunch of years since the team has scored. I think the record is 30. And that was in 2007. Thank you. Somebody just sent that to me. 2007, the record is 30 runs, and that was by the Texas Rangers. And 29-9. Hey, man, let me tell you something, Adam. The Dodgers, best team in baseball right now. But these Atlanta Braves, that's going to be a scary matchup in the postseason.
You talking about my Atlanta Braves?
You can't pick but one of them. You can't pick but one. You ain't gonna go.
Man. I can pick who I like. If I like you, I pick you. That's all. Jimmy, I had something unique I wanted to share. Yeah, I got a break. Let's go to the break. Young man.
One more baseball nugget.
Okay.
One more baseball nugget. The Atlanta Braves scored 29-9. How about the Milwaukee Brewers beat the Detroit Tigers 19-0 last night? 19-0. Milwaukee. Hey, man, bats coming alive. But the thing about the Atlanta game, they had been shut out the day before. You go from scoring 0 runs to cracking the bats for 29 runs. But that's what I want to give you. I want to give you a baseball fix. Give what you got, and we give it.
Let's check this young fella out, man. I saw this on social media the other day, and I said I wanted to go play it Wednesday, but I didn't. Chop Shop, we'll be back in a minute.
My name is Clinton Orife, spelled Clinton, and then Oreo like the cookie and FE at the end. I'm class of 2021 at A-Leaf Hastings High School, and I play varsity basketball.
Okay, man. What do you like about the game? What do you think that college coaches could use about you?
I think it's because I'm a defensive monster, and I love defense. That's like defense over everything. And I feel like I've been playing basketball for so long. I know the ins and outs, and I could read any other player on offense and know exactly what they're going to do, and I could predict what they're going to do too.
All right, you talking, you know what I'm saying? You said how you and Hastings want all the smoke.
We want all the smoke.
All the smoke this year. What y'all trying to prove this year to people?
We're trying to prove that just because we're from A-Leaf doesn't mean anything, because a lot of times they see A-Leaf as just a team to disregard and forget. Because we got out with the first round last year, we want the recognition this year, because we got a lot of underrated players and we want everybody to see them.
All right, man. Also, not only that, you're the class president?
Yes, sir.
That's Hastings, man. What made you want to decide to do that?
Honestly, it's because since I was a freshman, I just always wanted to know everybody. Like that's just one of my biggest goals. And we have what they call a ninth grade center. So at the ninth grade center, I used to just go up to random people, ask them what their name was, and I just feel like I'm a good leader on basketball or off basketball. So I feel like being class president provides me to be a leader.
So with that being said, what do you want to do outside of basketball?
This might be a reach, but I want to be president. President of the United States. Yes, sir.
All right, that's what's up, man. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim Hicks. Those last two breaks were a young man from, you heard him from A-Leaf. I think he plays with the Raptors program. I saw that. I was so impressed by this young man. I just had to take that video and put it on the screen for you to know. And the last one is from Adam Clayton Powell, the guy I've been talking to. Jimmy, I got 3 phone calls and 1 email yesterday from grown people saying, thank you. I did not know who this man was. And thank you for letting me know who Adam Clayton Powell was. They even called me this morning and talking to me about it. So, hey, y'all, we got to know our history. We got to know our history. And guess what? If you're on the Chop Shop, at some point, I'm going to give you some. And these people happened to be watching the show yesterday and found out something they never knew in all of their life. So, Jimmy, let's get ready. Let's get ready to get to the football picks and let's make it happen. You ready?
Yeah. Get your pen out. You have a copy of the lineup right on your cell phone. And first of all, tonight, of course, starting things off, the Houston Texans versus the Kansas City Chiefs is your Thursday night game. And this game the Houston Texans should be just foaming at the mouth for this rematch. I say should be after the way they manhandled Kansas City for a quarter and a half, only to melt to become butter in the hot skillet the rest of the way. And then watching Kansas City proceed to win the Super Bowl. If the way that the Texans came out, and they can come out and understand, Kansas City is a machine. They're the best team in football right now. We all understand that. And they're playing at home, getting their rings tonight and all that. However, the crowd element is removed. Only a fragment of the fans will be allowed to participate to watch in attendance tonight. How many are they allowed tonight, Adam?
17,000.
17,000, which is a decent crowd. You know, that's a good college for
it's I think it's 25% of their full capacity. That's why they ran it
So
off.
what do the Texans need to do? How can they make this game, keep you watching this game past halftime? How can they keep you watching this game into the fourth quarter? How can they even have a chance?
I don't watch.
Get the two highest paid quarterbacks.
I don't know. They just got to. It's just got to be a gunslinging contest to keep me watching, because it's too much stuff to do tonight. So it's going to take a lot to keep me watching, because I don't usually watch football games that long. I watch basketball games a lot longer than I watch football games. You know, and some people are the complete opposite, but me, really and truly, because I tape them all, and I just can't stand commercials. That's my problem. I can't stand commercials. So anything I can do to get around a commercial, I'm good. But let's go and get to these games, because we got a guest coming up. Let's get to these games.
Absolutely. So our first game is Houston at the Kansas City, and the line has Kansas City given up 9 points. That's the current line. So, Al, you can start this thing off.
Okay, I'll start it
And
off.
let me know what you want to do.
I start
You wanna
this
take
thing
these
off
nines?
right.
Or you want to take the 9, or you gonna give, or you gonna keep the 9?
I want Houston, and I'm gonna take my 9. What the hell you talking about? Give me my 9 points.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
So
I
I
got
start
Cammy
the
Circle.
game out because I got to get this right because I'm not a better like that. I shoot dice. I play craps. Jimmy. So that means I got 9 points already.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go 9-0.
Okay. You can have you know what? Yeah, I take it. Let's go. The next one. I ain't gonna even tell
Okay,
you why.
next one. The next one, and our guest is watching from the dressing room right now, and he's sitting there about to laugh because this is like taking candy from a baby. You just watch how I do it and watch this. He gonna come back on Monday and swear
Come
I
on,
got it. I
man.
tricked him. Watch this. Seattle at Atlanta. Seattle is giving up 1.5.
So-
I'm gonna take Seattle and give you that 1.5 on the road.
Okay, so I got Atlanta. Okay. All right. I'm writing it down because I know you'll cheat on me. Yes. Keep going. All right, the next one. Jets in Buffalo.
Okay.
Buffalo in. So the Buffalo getting the Jets 6?
6.5.
6.5. I'm going to take Buffalo, Jim.
You give me 6.5.
I'm going to give you a 6.5. You
I'm
need
gonna
it.
need, you know what?
You
I
gonna
need
need
every
it.
bit of the Jets is awful.
You
Garbage.
going to need it. What's the next one?
Hey, we're gonna see what that running back gonna do then. The Chicago at Detroit.
Pick 'em.
Detroit is giving up 2.5 to the Bears.
Who you want?
You know
Who you want,
what?
Cletus?
I'm gonna ride with Detroit. Just the fact that they had the gall to stand up during and make a stance after the Wisconsin incident and said, "The hell with practice." You know, I'm down with Detroit.
So
I'm gonna
you going
take
to give me
Detroit,
2
and
points. Them 2 points mine, right?
That's 2.5.
Huh?
Hold on, you don't want the half?
Yeah, I
You
want 2.5.
two?
I want all my points. Yes. Want all my points. All right. Green Bay in Minnesota. Okay. I can't bet against Green Bay. I'm sorry, Yvette. I'm sorry, baby. I can't. She gonna be mad at me. I got to go with Green Bay. Jimmy, I got some Super Bowl action from Green Bay. So I give you. Wait, Jimmy. Wait a minute. Who get the points? I'm giving you the
Minnesota
points.
is giving up 3. Green
Okay.
Bay gets the point.
Oh, wait a minute. Green Bay get the points.
Yeah,
So okay. So I start off 3-0.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right.
I got Minnesota.
All right.
Boy, it's like taking candy from a baby.
Come on.
Miami at New England.
Try me.
You know I'm taking tight britches, man. You know I'm taking tight
Man,
britches.
you can't take my nephew, man.
You know, different uniform now. I'm taking tight britches. You know what? Tight britches can't fail. He can't fail in this opener right now. I'm taking New England, and I'm giving you 6.5 with Miami. Come on.
Man, I'm mad right now. Okay, Philadelphia and Washington. I can't stand Washington. I'm going with Philadelphia. I don't care what. Who get them points, though?
Washington.
Okay, you can have the points. I'm going with Philly. All right.
The Las Vegas / Oakland Raiders at Carolina. Las Vegas is giving up 2.
Jimmy, the Clippers just said, which shirt you want? They text me back, said, which one you want? Keep going. I got to give Freight one, too. Cause
The Raiders at Carolina.
what you going to do, man? Come on. If you're scared, call the police, man. God.
You know what, man? Ain't that Teddy Bridgewater over there at Carolina, y'all?
Yeah, you can have it.
I'm going to go with Teddy.
You're going with Teddy?
Oh, Jam. Oh,
So, wait a minute.
Teddy.
So I get the
Yeah,
points,
I'm taking
Jimmy?
Carolina.
So I get the 2 points of mine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I go with Vegas. You know I love
Yeah.
Vegas anyway. Okay, Indianapolis, Jacksonville. Jimmy, I'm going with Indianapolis, Jimmy.
I'm taking an 8 punch.
I'm gonna give you 8 punch. You ain't gonna have me calling no points, no point. I take the 8 points, ladies and gentlemen.
Next up, we got Cleveland at Baltimore. Ooh, this is a really big game for Cleveland.
Can I have Lamar? Could you give me Lamar?
Jackson giving up 8. He giving up 8.5.
What you want? What you want, baby? What you want? It's like taking candy from a baby. You sure taking a long time. Because this is like taking candy from a baby. Taking candy from a baby.
Man, you know what? I'm going to take that 8.5. I'm going to take that 8.5. I'm going to take that 8.5 with Cleveland.
Okay. I like you.
And Odell back.
I like you. Odell. Okay, Odell.
Okay. Watch this. I'm going to take Cleveland.
Okay. All right.
Come on. Next up, Chargers and Cincinnati.
The Chargers and Cincinnati. Guess who I'm going with? Chargers. I'm going with my heart right now.
I'm going to take Cincinnati in 3.5.
Oh, you get them 3 points? Okay, I'll give you them.
Tampa Bay and New Orleans is giving up 3.5. And man.
Hey, Jimmy, take New Orleans. You know I can't cheer against my nephew.
This game. New Orleans Saints, that's one of the most festive atmospheres to watch an NFL game. But those fans, it ain't going to be 70,000 fans in there this Sunday.
You sure have to give a soliloquy.
That's why I'm going to take the greatest quarterback in the history of the game and the 3.5 punts. I'm going to take Tampa Bay, even though Mike Evans ain't playing.
Now you know I'm mad. What's wrong with Mike Evans?
I think they say a hammy or something.
Okay, Arizona, San Francisco. Jimmy, my heart's speaking right now. I got to go with Arizona. I'm taking this pick under protest because this is my heart. This ain't my head.
Yeah, you taking that 7.5 punch. That's what you're doing.
No, Jimmy, no. Pat Peterson, Jimmy, that's my dude. Pat Peterson in the quarterback. Kyler Murray.
Oh, so you don't like the wide receiver who just came from the Texans?
Not like I like them. Hold up. I got checks with Pat Peterson. I ain't never got no checks with him. With that one.
Hey, how about the last one?
What?
The Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams.
Don't you mess with my Cowboy.
Cowboys giving up 3, and I'm going to help them give up that 3. I'm going to take them Cowboys and give up that 3.
You going to take the Cowboy?
Yeah.
Hey, Jimmy, Aaron Donald going to beat the brakes off them dudes. So we can do Monday's games on Monday.
I might be the swept you by the end, Hatter. It don't even make no sense. I might be the swept you. Then totally swept you by the end. I got this gonna be like cake and candy from a baby, guys. I'm not joking. And of course, what we got now, it's time for our special guest to join us. Do we go to the break or we come on?
No, man, let him on in. Let him on in. I get him a break out there. Let him on in, man.
I'll give you guys the note that, of course, on yesterday, we had Lupe Nunez scheduled to come on the Chop Shop today. Lupe did not realize, he contacted us this morning, did not realize that his job, his company, they have their annual 4th quarter regional meeting was this afternoon. And his staff at all of the offices were in. So he apologized. He will be joining us on Monday or Thursday. I have to confirm one of the days. I don't know if he even texted back from this morning. I mean, I have so many texts. It's either Monday or Thursday. So just follow, and we maybe Monday, maybe Thursday, one of those 2 days for certain. Lupe Nunez will be joining us. And so without further ado, and of course, we have another guy who was already on schedule, right? And was already on schedule to join us today. and he is still joining us today, and that is Joe Baldridge, and he operates one of the most successful grassroots programs in the state of Texas for the 16 and under division this past summer. And that program is called the Scholar Athletes. The Scholar Athletes, they're based out of Northeast Harris County, and primarily, and they've been around for a while. And we have with us Joe Baldridge to talk with us about their success and their resume and the personnel which makes up that program and what makes it tick. What's going on? Welcome to the Chop Shop, Joe.
What up, Joe?
Hey, how's it going, fellas? How y'all doing? All right?
Doing great, man.
What's going down?
Oh, nothing. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be here with you guys.
I like that, man. You got your shirt on.
Oh, yeah. You always see me with that.
Waiting. Let me tell you how this came about.
Yeah.
So the Scholar Athletes was over at the gym at the MI3 this past weekend.
Okay.
At Mike Kunstad's Great American Shootout.
Okay.
Now, I've seen the Scholar Athletes play a time or two this summer.
Uh-huh.
And however, after they had emerged from going, I think, 3-1 this past weekend?
3-1. We lost to Strength in Motion, which is a prep school out of San Antonio.
So that means they have guys that are 1 to 2 years old.
Yeah.
Prep schools have preps, in every sense of the word. So they caught me in the parking lot. Him and the assistant coach had it and tried to jam me up. I'm at the parking lot, dropping me some flies on the windshield wipers. My normal little old task on a Sunday afternoon. I'm working the parking lot. And he say, and what did you tell me, Joe?
I said, when am I gonna get my invite to the Chop Shop? We earned it. We worked hard. Like you said, we stay out the way. We don't cause no problems. We just do our business. And it's time to come through the door now. We've been looking on the outside, looking in, everybody eating, and we hungry.
So he said that and kind of said it with his face. I mean, with his chest. Right? He kind of said it with his chest. And I said, and I went and I looked on social media shortly after, Hatter, and he put a tweet out.
I saw it.
And Hatter, can you read that tweet? You got that tweet up.
Joe.
So that means he wasn't really just talking to me like that. He talking to the whole community.
Joe
with his chest.
Let me tell you what Mr. Baldridge said, y'all. Coach Baldridge said, let me tell you, he said, can we get the respect our young men have earned? He didn't say deserved, he said earned. We finished with the combined record of 29-4 while playing 16U and 17U. And then guess what he said after that, Jimmy? Thanks.
What'd he say?
Thanks. And then he put his receipts at the bottom. Hold up now. He was proper. Hold up. He said it with his chest, and then he said, thanks after that. I like that. I like that, Joe. I like that, Coach.
So,
appreciate it.
So Joe.
Yes, sir.
You lost 4 games this season. This whole summer, your team only lost 4 games.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned Strength in Motion. Who's the other 3?
We lost to Take My Talent by 3 on the out-of-bounds play at the buzzer. We also lost to who's the other team? I can't even think of it off the top of my head. Texas Takeover. I take that loss as a coach. I made some substitutions earlier that I should have. We had the game in hand, up by 8, about 4 minutes left. Ended up going to overtime. We lost by 1 point. Any games under 5 points, the coach lost in my book.
Why is that? Explain that.
Because there's always something during the course of the game. A coach should be able to make an adjustment to make up for the 3 or 4 or 5 point difference.
So give us an example.
An example is a situation, understanding the game as far as who's in foul trouble on the other team, knowing how to put the ball in the hand to attack the person in foul trouble, knowing who has the hot hand, We run a lot of spread and two-man game and that type of thing. It's just putting people in the right place in the right time. Sometimes we make adjustments at timeouts. For an example, we were struggling a little bit on offense, called a timeout, ran one of our sets out of a timeout this past weekend and hit a three, and we went on the road from there. So it's all about adjustments as a coach. That's all I can do from the sideline. I can't get in there like I used to. I still play, but they don't let me. I have too many gray hairs now to get on the court.
Now, some of the teams that you beat, Select One. That was
Yes,
the
sir.
team. That was a team that had the 7-footer and the 6'9" and the 6'8", and that's a team that.
Now, let me explain that one to you, though, Coach. Hicks, let me explain that Select One. Select One, and I don't understand this. Select One had their 20-23. That's who we were supposed to play. Then we went up by about 12, 15 points. I don't know what they thought we was about, but we went up about 12, 15 points. Next thing you know, here come the 7-footers off the bench. Here come everybody else off the bench. So I guess they thought that was going to make a difference. But the only thing that happened was that's when my man Demi had a nice little dunk of the year, I think, of the summer at least, on that 7-footer. And it was over from there.
Coach, I would have played it on the screen.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay. Wow.
It got to be the
Hold up,
dunk of
Jimmy,
the summer.
hold up. Is this the same Select coach, the same Select that the coaches had a little skirmish with another coach?
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't try nothing with you, Coach, did they?
It was already too late. We had our business from the beginning.
So also you beat the Houston TTG team.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty good, and that's I forgot my young fella.
It turned out perfect for us. I mean, TTG, I love all the kids. I'm not taking anything away. A lot of them are talented. I saw a lot of them at some of the camps and things, spoke to the kids. I talked to all the kids from all teams. And I knew that was a good matchup for us. That's what we look for. And be honest with you, that's one of those teams that we had circled on our board, so to speak. And we had a chance to finally play them at the end of the season. Not taking anything from those guys because they all are highly talented. But the fact remains is a lot of those guys are ranked in the top 20, top 10, top 15, and none of our kids are anywhere on the radar. That's the problem that we're trying to figure out here.
And you also beat the DOYA Angelo team this past summer, among your most notable wins.
Yeah.
The Fam Elite team, which won first place at the Gasso.
They got a lot of write-up too, a lot of ink, and I like those guys too. Let me explain something about them. AJ, that shooter from them, played with us 3 years. Caleb Pouncey played with us for over 7 years or 6 years with us. So I mean, they have a team full of scholar athletes over there too. I'm just letting it, just being factual.
And the most notable win is against the Houston Hoops EYB, which is known as the DOYA team. Is that which
Stop.
team
Don't
was that?
nobody say that. Hold on. Not the team that y'all came on here saying the best team in the country. The best 16.
It was a 16.
The best 16.
It was a 16U, and it was the beginning of the year, beginning of the summer. So they had their squad full.
Not the 15s. You talking about the 15s?
Okay.
They beat the 16s.
The 15s. Okay. All right. Come on. Okay. Come on, Joe.
And that was the beginning of the summer. That was Marcus Sloan event. First, might have been the second event of the summer. So they were fully staffed as far as their team, as far as I know. But we only play who was in front of us, So, but we handling our business. It's been that way, and it's always been that way. And maybe we don't promote ourselves enough. And but my thing is always about timing with my organization, by being patient, honing your skills. And when it's time, it's time. And I always preach to my parents and my players, it's really your sophomore, junior, senior year that you really need to, start to look at as far as pushing yourself forward, as far as getting into college. And that's, a lot of times we lose players because they lose faith in as far as the process. Just because you play in Arizona and Vegas and in New Orleans every single weekend doesn't mean you're going to be a college player at the end of the day. It all comes down, and it's enough players, right? It's enough teams right here in Houston to compete against. I don't understand. You know, you travel to Dallas, you travel to Vegas, and you see the same teams that you could have played right here at home.
And so why do you think so many teams feel compelled to hit the highway?
I tell you why I feel compelled to hit the highway when we do. It's because parents are sometimes impressionable because they're not really familiar with the landscape of sports. In this particular case, basketball. And so if your organization like ourselves, that we always started off with, my youngs played Nickelodeon, Primetime, and everybody, all those Nickelodeon tournaments. It's all about developing skill. We're talking about third graders that don't even make a left-hand layup yet. You're trying to go take them on the road. And so that's my point there. So what propels me to get on the road when we do, because you have the vultures, I guess you can call them, or whatever you want to say. They're out there saying, oh, what tournaments y'all play in? Oh, you guys don't even travel. You're a local team. It's almost like, it reminds me of the movie Juice, when they say, oh, you're just a local artist. You know what I mean? You ain't, you know, so, you know, you got to give them a little bit of the taste of both. I understand that dynamic too.
But Coach, I'm sitting here just watching because I'm seeing people, because on the Facebook feed and on the YouTube feed, people are talking. I got a question, you know. When is it too many? Is it too many teams out here? Is it, why so many teams? So, Coach, I can't see, that's Jimmy's job. But there used to be a time I said, well, they got this program, they got this program, they got this program. And I knew those programs. Now, everybody, hey man, I just got a text, man. Let me tell you something. People trying to correct me, but everybody got a team. And,
yes,
and Joe, explain the phenomena. Cause how long y'all been in service?
You're gonna be really surprised when I tell you this. We've been around since 1983.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we started in the Chicagoland area. And one thing I always tell my parents is the only thing that you could take with you is what the coach put in your head. You can't take your team, you can't take your trophies, you can't take your wins. Only thing you can take to you to the next level is what your programming and that have been put into your head as far as a player and your skills. That being said, my tutelage comes from Gene Pingatore, winning's coach in Illinois basketball history. I was under his program. I'm a son of a coach. My father was a varsity coach, jersey number, retired in college. Always taught me the right way to do things, especially being as a coach's son. And a daddy ball, I don't believe in that because that was the toughest coach I ever played for. You know, I understand the dynamic of daddy ball, but when people say daddy ball, I don't know what that means because that was the toughest coach I ever played for was my daddy. So, and I didn't get nothing, you know, so he kicked me off the team and I had to get voted back on the team. So, so that's just how it goes. But I had fortunate, I'm from Maywood, Illinois. We're the top 10 as far as produced NBA players of all schools anywhere in the country. If you take out the prep schools like Finley Preps and all those type of schools like that, Oak Hill Academy, we're in the top 3. My father worked with Michael Finley growing up. We have a plethora of NBA players out of there. I could go through the names of them, but I have a pedigree as far as basketball goes. Michael Finley was part of it. Doc Rivers, we know he mentioned him. He's from Maywood. That's my guy. Proviso East High School. D. Brown, Shannon Brown, Reggie Jordan. I go through the whole list of NBA players that came through there. So I know what it takes when I see talent and what it takes to get there. See, a lot of people see, oh, that's the best kid that I saw. But that doesn't mean that's the best kid that got what it takes to get where it needs to go on the next level.
Joe, hold on. Joe, say that one more time. Say it.
I said a lot of people see players as the best players that they saw. But I know what else is out there. Not just locally in Houston, not just in Chicago. I'm talking about nationally because I grew up with it. I was born with it. I've seen it on all levels. And it's not, at the end of the day, for us and our organization, we're called Scholar Athletes because we put education first. But we also put education into the game of basketball or any sport. And that being said, it's all about making an academic decision. If you're not a top 25, top 50, top 100 guy on ESPN, I advise a lot of our parents, a lot of our kids look at academic situation. What's best fits your academic profile? What you want to do with your life after 4 years, your next 4 years after, actually 4 years after high school. What are you realistically going to be doing? Now I've coached NBA players and worked with NBA players, but my thing is promoting education first and foremost.
And that's, Joe, this is the corner or the lap on the track which we turn into to where you can really help a lot of parents understand what makes you tick, what goes into building a successful program. And despite not having sponsorships, despite not having a bunch of kids on the team who you're touting as a high major or Division I. So the question is, and I'm gonna bring one of the questions from one of the viewers to you.
Yes, sir.
Which segues right into that. And Alex asked you, it's one of the viewers in the Facebook group. He says, what's more important in building a strong 16U program? Having the same kids together for a few years and growing with them, developing with them, or 2, getting more success and attracting some of the high-level grassroots free agents.
Well, that's a very good question. I originally started Scholar Athletes after I was working with Christian Life Academy as the fundamental training specialist with Carlos Wilson, and then that branched off and started Scholar Athletes down here in Houston. Like I said, we've been going in Chicagoland area, but one of the things that I would do different, and maybe this will be the best way to answer the question, is I started off with 16, 17s, because that's where all the excitement and all the hoopla is and all that sort of thing. But the best thing I would do and recommend is starting them off as young as possible. One of our top players that we have on our team is Angel Johnson. He started off when he was 7 years old. Demi, one of our top players, he started off at 9U. A lot of those guys that we have on our team have at least 3 or 4 or 5 years experience with our program. And so that's where the success really comes in. It's not just keeping them together, but once again, like I said, it's the training and it's the coaching that you get. You can have kids together all day long. If you're not getting the proper training, the proper understanding of the game, it doesn't translate to wins or translate to success.
And Joe, I love how you said proper training, but Joe, look at the climate around Houston. You've been here to Houston a long time.
Yes, sir.
How does a parent that don't know, what's
exactly
because all of these guys think they the baddest thing since sliced bread, Joe.
Yes, sir.
And how does a parent? Because see, me personally, Joe, I learned to know a person, I look at his history. Not his story now. Because he'll tell his story can be anything he tell you.
That's right.
Look at what he's done. Look at his history. But how does a parent follow the history of some of these guys? How does a parent that just don't know no better, Joe, just saying, but this guy talking about, I got TJ Ford. I got we got guys that talk like that around here. How do you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite, I got a lot of tutelage under my father. One of the things to that exact question, I'll answer the way that he would answer it, is me telling you about working with Ben McLemore, Christian Life, or working with Josh Gray and bringing him to Houston, or I could lag down all these guys, but it has nothing to do with your son and your situation. That's the first thing.
Okay.
So we don't, it's all about your kid. What could I do for your kid? That's the first thing. Second thing is, I think sometimes when we're developing kids as coaches, as in general, is we skip steps. Meaning we don't have, I hardly ever see a full speed dribble, full speed stop on a dime pull up before I see a step back three. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, what's really our college coach is looking for? So what happens is you develop all these, or I see a lot of dribble. And every coach every good, successful college coach I ever played for, especially if you watch NCAA college basketball, 3 dribbles is most. Other than that, you're a creator. I tell my kids, our class is down the street. They need creators down there. I'm looking for ball players. So 2-3 dribbles, catch, look at your option, put the ball on the floor if you have to, pass the ball, cut, move, screen. That's it. That's the game. And so it's a lot of high-end, high major pro skills when they haven't developed the grassroots skills first. I mean, that's where the building block starts from. And I love Kawhi Leonard's game. I mean, nothing fancy, nothing flashy. They say, oh, you can't shoot. I hear a coach say, oh, you can't shoot the mid-range no more. He's the leading scorer in the league, and he's shooting nothing but mid-range. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand the philosophies and or the ideologies. I know some of it has changed. And I don't put my big guy underneath the basket. They handle the ball. They're out on the perimeter and all those sort of things. Mm-hmm. But it's about steps that you take. It's the process. You have to be patient with your kids. And to go back on that question, we have never recruited anybody to our organization. I never talked to a kid and tried to convince them to come to us. Now, on the other foot, that has happened. That's part of the game. I understand that. But my favorite thing is developing. I like taking kids that everyone doesn't see as being even a starter at their high school. That's how my father started the program. He took kids that were cut, all of them, just about cut, academic problems, athletic problems, and they all went to college on scholarship. Some of them all-American. So without even playing high school basketball. So my background is a little bit different, and my approach is a little bit different. It's unconventional as far as what's going on now. It's just old school putting in that work. That's what it comes down to.
But Joe, what about Jim? I know you got some, but Joe, this is just an important question for me. What about the guys who are already deemed stars, or guys who are already deemed 5 stars and 4 stars? What would you say to those guys? I mean, if you just coming into their lives right now, we got a little special guy, a young kid that is like part of my family named Bryce Griggs. I don't know if you ever seen.
Yes, sir.
But,
yes, sir.
But me, I know he's always in the gym. I just want to know, and I just want to know what it takes for a guy like that to get better. Because you usually can take some of these guys who are not as talented and got the things. Because Bryce's dad helped him. Bryce was a son of a coach. You follow me? So he's going to have certain things. But guess what? The higher the levels he go, guess what? It's going to be bigger. The higher the levels, the bigger the devils. In other words, the higher the levels, he's going to have to get better. What do you say to these elite kids like this, supposing that they throw that line, but those guys who are deemed, ESPN has said they 5 stars. ESPN has put them in the top 15 or the top. What do you say to those guys?
Well, I like to keep in mind that when it comes to, at that level, they're looking at trying to be one of those draft picks. You're trying to get into that realm. Okay. That being said, and it's better than anybody else, in the NBA, it's not enough spots on NBA teams than it is draft picks. And the draft is short. You got free agents that move around, so, and you got, so you got over, a lot of people aren't even calculating when they do the percentage of making the NBA and 1% and all that. They're not even calculating overseas, and you need to put that into the equation now. So you're really talking about a 0.5% chance. Right. So it's putting yourself in the best situation, understanding that the coach has your best interest at heart. Sometimes that's hard to decipher. That's really in your corner, that's willing to work with you, and you have to have somebody work hardest for you. Like for Griggs, for example, he puts in a lot of work. I know he does, but he has to have somebody that's put in that hard work with him to make him successful. Okay. And so you got to find somebody that's willing to wake up at the 5 o'clock in the morning and at the 12 o'clock that's going to be there with you, sticking through thin. So that's what it comes down to. It's about the loyalty. And finding somebody that you could trust, because only God could put you in a position to make the NBA. That thing will happen. Right. But as far as developing your skill and all that sort of thing, when you got the skill work, now it comes down to understanding the game, clock management, foul situations, who got the hot hand. How do somebody shooting 60% from the field, and how do we get the ball in his hands more often in this particular game? So now you got to be more cerebral to go with your skill. Now we're getting somewhere.
My man, Jimmy.
Joe, why do they call you Fundamental Joe?
I got Fundamental Joe and Basic Joe, because that's what we do. Like I said, Kawhi Leonard is my game. If you ever watch us play, it's very fundamentally sound, but that's the way college coaches really like the game. I mean, that's why they have to play the game on the next level. You don't see a lot of, you got some very talented guys in college, don't get me wrong. But why do they look different in college than they do in the NBA? Because you have to be fundamentally sound and structured in the system to be able to be successful at the college level to even translate to the NBA.
So now you've been in Houston. Of course, a lot of people might have missed that. You came, Carlos Wilson. You worked up under the Christian Life program.
Yes, sir.
That's around the time when I met you.
Yes, sir.
And Josh Gray came on in. Take us back to that point. How did you get to Houston, and how did you meet Carlos? And more importantly, what did you learn from the Christian Life experience? That's the program that produced it. You just mentioned Ben Mack,
35 D1 players.
Andre Jordan. But take us back there.
What was that again? What was that question?
How did you hook up with Carlos?
Okay.
Anderson?
Yeah,
And
over
what
here at
did
the
you
gym.
learn from him?
Yeah, I was working corporate at the gym. My father was joking with me, coming down and say, "You got a little belly, look like you on the golf course all the time. You get in the way." And I know I put on this earth to do. It is to give back to the kids and give back to the community. And so I was, I got the one that had to get it fixed and had to walk around the gym, and I saw Christian Life, and they're like, "Who are these guys?" I could really get involved with something like I love being in the gym first and foremost. But then you see all this talent and all this, and Carlos he had a lot on his plate with two, three teams going, and so I was like, let me see what I can do to help. And it was great working with Carlos Wilson. I was over the fundamental development, did a lot of their training and that type of thing. And he's a coach he's a coach's, they have a player's coach, he's a coach's coach too, because he lets you get in there in the timeouts and halftime and get in there. And I try to do the same thing with my coaches as well. Give them some leeway as far as what they could input into practices in the games and that type of thing. But one experience I did get is I did like the fact that how they were producing a lot of D1 players. I did like that. The only thing that I would say, and I love Christian Life, the whole program. I love being there. I'm not taking anything away from that. But if it was something that I would do different, there was I didn't understand, and this is where even with some of the top-rated summer teams, you taunt all the D1 players, but what about the NAIA D1 players? What about the D2 players? What about the D3 players? It's almost to a point to where if you don't make D1, they don't even put the phone call in for you. Like that kid is good enough just by your name alone, calling up a NAIA coach or a D2 coach, say, "Hey, coach, hey, we're loaded with D1 players. I got this guy. He's my seventh man, but I know he'll be able to help you at this level." I saw a lot of kids go home that could have probably, I know they could have played on some level, so that was the heartbreaking part of it. But it was a very successful program. Carlos ran a great program there, and I was blessed to be part of that.
But Coach Jimmy, but some people have the mentality D1 or bust. I'm D1. Well, I'm too D1 for these dudes.
You know why? You know why, Mr. Hatter?
Why?
And that's my biggest pet peeve of this whole deal is from day one, everybody's promoting D1, 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 D1 this, D1 that. My name is D1, this, that, D1. Okay, that's fine. Now, the problem is, imagine if you're a kid, like you just said, imagine if you're a kid and you've been promoted D1 since third grade team. Everybody say you're going to be D1, your team name D1. And so now you get to your senior year in college, you're embarrassed to tell a kid that you're embarrassed to tell your family and your peers that you got a D2 or NAIA school scholarship. Not to mention, a lot of NAIA schools are private institutions that are more expensive to attend than the state schools, and they have higher academic accreditation than most of the state schools. So I don't understand the dynamic. If you took money out of it, most people send their kid to a private school. When it comes to high school or any other school, they'll go private if it took money out. But when it comes to college, they all want to go to the state schools. But the private schools may be the NAIA school or the D2 schools, which once again, back to that question. Realistically, I'm about to have a sit down, have an end of the year sit down with my parents. Where realistically are you going to be 4 years after high school, meaning when you graduate college? Do you legitimately have a shot to go to NBA, or let's go to a Kansas or Kentucky? or you just going to Texas A&M to sit at the end of the bench, say the coach don't like me, come back home, sit on the couch trying to find another school, and end up not even graduating college. And that happens all the time too. And so that's what we call it, properly placed. For an example, from my father's information, once again, our goal was always to get a free education, period. That being said, I had Division I offers that wanted me. I went to an NAIA Division I school. Why? I got on campus. I had a house bigger than the house I lived in. I had a patio on the back of my bedroom. They gave me the highest scholarship ever given at the school. They just showed 100% love. My first tournament there, a first team all tournament, as a freshman playing, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I was like, okay, overseas wasn't a lot of options back in, 90, 98, so I was like, so it was all about education. And so one thing I did like, I went to Indiana University, South Bend. And the thing I did like about it, when you graduate, you get at that time, I don't know, it's still that way, you got you got your degree from the main campus. So it's like going to Corpus Christi, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, but your degree still says Texas A&M College Station or what have you. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things I liked about that. So, so I had D1 offers and passed those. I know a lot of people will pass up D2s and NAIA D1 offers to sit at the end of a bench somewhere. And I don't understand that. Just to say they played D1.
Hey, man, Joe Baldridge dropping nuggets all over the place on this Baby Friday, guys. If you just tuned into the Chop Shop, Joe founded the Scholar, he runs the Scholar Athletes program, which is based in the North Houston area. And Joe, I mean, this is a really, really delicate topic.
Yes, sir.
That we are engaging in. And you just talked about the Division I versus identifying the talent level, and where will your son be your kid be 4 years after graduating high school? You've had those conversations before with your parents, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tell us how some of those conversations generally go. How are they received from your parents of your basketball program?
But you know what? They're very receptive because I think parents are getting pressure for their kid to go D1. But when you come at them with the information and the angle that I come at them with, they tend to understand. They understand that dynamic. We just had a kid go to William Penn. There's an NAIA Division I school based out of in Iowa. They finished fifth in the country last year. Before the COVID hit, they may have won the whole thing. And we have a kid up there right now, going to school. And so I'm a big proponent of D2s and NAIA Division I's. Unless, like I said, if you are on the top, 100 lists and things like that, let's go ahead and try to get his money, making some pro ball money, a reality. And I've seen that happen too. But if it's a far fetched thing when you come to your senior year, now it's time to look at the education part of it. What like, for an example, a lot of people don't realize this. I do this. I look at, okay, I have Angel Johnson plays on our team. He wants to be a mechanical engineer. I put down the top 10 mechanical engineer schools for Division I, Division II, and NAIA Division III, and NAIA Division I. So now when he's making his decision, it's not just based on basketball. These are your top schools for mechanical engineering. And I usually give them the list blank. Like, I never heard of half these schools. What list is this, coach? Oh, you say you want to be a mechanical engineer? These are the top mechanical engineering programs in the country. So it's education once again.
And so a lot of those schools, as you mentioned now, the main difference as far as student athletes is the public schools scholarships versus now the non-Division I schools, most of them. But if you academics, you mentioned that was the first topic that you stressed. So when you're recruiting when you're observing and going and evaluating talent to form on your team, are you looking for a certain type of player with the academic foundation already? Or are you looking for the talent level there and you just get them all? Because it sounds to me as though, I could be very wrong, but it sounds to me that in your situation, especially in a city like Houston, based on the state of how so many people get lured or mislured by the Division I carrot, that they find themselves making lap after lap and a lap around the track, chasing a carrot they're not going to catch.
Yeah.
So once again, the question is, do you purposely go and find a certain type of student athlete to come into your program?
But good question. I don't know. You know me for a long time. All of my teams are usually made up of guys in my area. I'm big on community, building community, building relationships within the community. All of our kids are from Kingwood, Atascocita, and we have a couple of kids from Klein Oak. Okay. Before that, all of our kids, we had a group of kids from Channelview. We had a group of kids. I like to get at least 4 or 5 kids from one high school, usually, is what I like to do. And I like to develop them as a collective group. That's what I like to do. And so that's kind of my philosophy. It builds a relationship within the community. And to go back on your point, as far as the education piece, when you first start off, parents will tell you in a second, especially when they're in middle school, elementary school, oh, I just want my kid to get a free education. They'll tell you. That's what they say all the time until them people get in their ears. And now it's like, oh man, you can get on here, you go there, you go. What happened to the education piece now? Now it's all about basketball driven. So I mean, it's heartening sometimes, but I've seen kids that had all the talent in the world that could have played and finished school that didn't finish school, because they were driven by the wrong motivation, the wrong things.
So you mentioned, one of the things that components you look for, you're big on community.
Yep.
And you're based out in North Houston, out in
That's correct.
Humble ISD area.
That's correct.
And I looked on your roster.
Mm-hmm.
You only toted about 8 kids.
Only carried about 8 kids.
And out of those 8, 5 of them was from the same high school.
Exactly.
You just said that, Jim. He said,
right?
Yeah.
Two.
And I've had them 3+ years. 3+ years.
And the one kid you mentioned a couple of times, Angel Johnson, he's the lone kid from Atascocita.
Well, Atascocita, we had AJ from the fam. We had Caleb from the fam. We had several Atascocita kids. They just chose to do some other things.
So relationship-wise, in the community,
yes,
and you have success this season, without question. These kids are 2022s. This is a scholar athletes. That means this team is possibly setting the precedent for next summer to make their last lap around the track, right?
That's correct.
Kingwood High School is where those 5 kids play at. Give somebody that's watching right now, that's a grassroots coach.
Yes, sir.
Some tips on how you were able to go and get those, like 4 or more kids from the same school and convince the high school coach to support what you're trying to do. Did you go get some plays from him, run some of the same sets?
Well, actually,
how did you do it?
Well, actually, like I said, going back to one of the first questions, I started them off when they're young. So when they go to high school, they're like, man, these kids got a lot of talent. Well, they all play with scholars. So actually, I don't go to the high school. I don't go to the high school and say, hey, can I coach your guys? Those are my guys since 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
So the coach,
all these guys are my team.
Coach, the coach should be coming to you.
Thank you. And I don't ask for nothing. But also, just to throw a name, since we're talking about the Kingwood kids, we can't forget about Tommy Newman. Tommy Newman won the District 6A District Newcomer of the Year as a sophomore. He's part of that group too. It's about 6'4", 6'5" kid, high academic kid, probably over 4.0 GPA. And I'm looking at some, now for him, I'm looking at John Hopkins and places like that. I'm talking about high major. So as far as academics go. So he sat out this year because of COVID, but he's part of that group too.
And here's what happened, and this is true. I mentioned Kingwood. How about this? Upon watching and examining the roster, that's why it's so important, guys, if you're watching, submitting your rosters is so important for these grassroots events. So many teams don't submit rosters, or they submit fragmented rosters. Submitting your roster, and here's what a roster did. And I'm watching the team this past weekend, and then I'm beaming in, and it soaks in. You know, and I saw it before, but sometimes you can see stuff but not pay attention. And I'm saying, wait a minute, these are 5 guys of the 8 at Kingwood. They're 29-4.
And they say you can't win with a high school team in summer ball.
No, that's not true. So whoever said that didn't make sense. I can give factuals that prove that, dispel that.
I got factuals right there on what you just said.
No, I'm talking about before you came around. Understand? Kingwood High School used to be one of the few high schools in the area that actually competed in GASOs. They were competing like 2 GASOs. Back in the days, it would be one in Bryan College Station that used to be big. Back in the days, everybody would go to A&M for that weekend Mike Kunstad's event. It used to take place during Memorial Day weekend. Well, that would be one. And Kingwood would play, and they would fare very well back in those old days, you know, about 15 years, 16 years, well, 12 to 15 years ago. Well, another school that always from the area was Bryan High School. And that's J. Michael Reese' daddy was the coach at Bryan. They always played in the GASO, and they always won, placed, or showed with their whole team. Now, what I wanted to add was making a point that you had is that after I noticed that, I went and I was comprising the field, and I had a spot left in the Super 16. And I approached and I told Joe, I said, Joe, how many of those kids from Kingwood gonna be playing football? He said, none. Well, if this team, think about it like this, if they're 16U having that type of success against all-star teams, then shouldn't Kingwood be expected to be better than most people are willing to give them credit for this upcoming season?
Oh, the Kingwood gonna be real nice.
Think about it like that. So if 5 of these guys play from Kingwood and they're having this type of success, once again, against all-star teams from around the state, they went 29-4. And this is without, these are the 2022s. This is not mentioning the 2021s that are on Kingwood team.
Yeah, they got a kid named Billy, who's a 4-year varsity player. That's a guard. He's a really tough kid out there. They got a couple of nice seniors too. I mean, they're going to be really nice for a couple years. So
guess what? Kingwood has a spot. And I reached out, and Joe told the coach to call me. He accepted the invite. They're part of the Super 16 extravaganza, the Fall High School Championships, which will be held October the 2nd through the 4th at the gym. And this is big because I almost totally overlooked Kingwood. And that's how, when people like yourself are pushing your players, and you're not, and one thing I liked about Joe, Coach Baldridge, is the fact that you're not pushing your players as, man, you sleeping on all my guys, they top 10. You know, I got these D1s. You're saying I got college-ready student athletes. That's what you're pushing. And the thing is, that's why it's a really delicate topic, because for some way you are able to keep those parents and the kids grounded, like a black cable coming from the battery, grounded in that understanding of the 4 years after high school. And once again, you have to just give us some nuggets to the people that are watching and parents about how identifying. You've seen Division I players, you've coached Division I players. So, but at the same time, in today's society of favorism, it's easy for the next grassroots coach to go and get his college coach buddy to do him a solid by sending a text message or making a phone call to one of the players and making that player believe that they're actually going to probably keep an eye on them. We got a person on the campus soon.
Yes, sir.
And so what do you do to keep, we know you got them grounded. What do you do to keep them grounded?
Well, you know, first of all, we like I said, we're always promoting the education part. For an example, I don't know if you saw my tweet the other day. I know a lot of organizations schedule a lot of tournaments and a lot of camps for their kids all summer. but how many kids, how many organizations sent the information out to the parents and the kids talking about the ACT that's coming up this weekend in October to register and schedule for that? So things like that. I've seen kids senior year, then he had the grades on the ACT, run around with these top teams and don't even have an ACT grade together. So even if the coach wants you, you can't even go to college. I've seen those. But to be honest with you, it's kind of disheartening, not for myself or my organization, because we're going to keep pushing. We're going to do what we do. Next time we see, we just got to, do, we handle up what we do. But the disheartening part is I believe in what I do. I believe what I do is the right way because I try to do everything the right way. And so when somebody leaves my organization, I don't look at it as they left for a better situation. I look at it as they made a mistake. That's how I feel. You made a mistake. I feel bad for the kid more than anything else, 9 times out of 10. Now, if it's a better situation, I'm all for the kid going on and doing other things. But if it's that's just how I feel about what I do. I'm confident in what I do. I was a player like that. I play like I coach. I know you're talking to Coach Arrow the other day. My personality on the bench is the same way I play. That's why I tell my guys, when I'm yelling and screaming at you off the bench, that's how I play. That's how you play on the court. You got to get on each other. You got to hold yourself accountable. Because what happens with a team is once everybody else starts to hold you accountable, guess what happens? You start to hold yourself accountable first. Because you're going to get on yourself before anybody else because you know it's coming. So when you do the same mistake over and over and over again, like I said, they all come to the same community. They're all in the same area. And that's what we do.
You know what's so unique, Joe? I've been listening to you talk, and you talking about high academics. So what I did, I was going through my Twitter last night, and I sent this, and I saw a tweet, right? And the tweet said, if you can play and have high-level grades, I would personally make sure every high academic program knows about you. This came from Alan Branch from Texas Boys Basketball. And then they got a high academic campus still locked in to happen, and we have 70% capacity. And I, if you want, email me. And I'll give you information. I go to Alan Branch, Texas Boys Basketball. The reason I mention that is because Alan Branch was very, very instrumental. Oh, you can't hear me? You can't hear me? But the people
we back in. Can you hear him good, Joe?
I know where he's getting at. I know about Alan Branch.
I can hear y'all
now.
now.
Now I can hear you.
Okay. And what happened is he got a tweet. He just tweeted. In case you didn't hear, I'm really more concerned about them hearing too, Joe. The people on the feed. Oh, they hear me.
Yes, sir.
But he just said, if you can play, okay, you got to be able to play first, and have high quality grades or high level grades. I would personally make sure every high academics program knows about you. And the reason I can vouch for that, because he the one let all the high-level academic schools know about my son.
Yeah, I like Alan Branch. I got a good relationship with Alan Branch.
Yeah, I'm just to the parents out here, Joe. I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
just talking to me and you and Jimmy and me, no. But it's some people just don't understand. I needed Harvard to know who my son was. I wanted Yale to know who my son was. He made sure he wound up knowing all of them, and he wound up going to Cornell. But let me tell you, some parents, your kid, it's a lot of opportunities out here. If you want him to play in college, if you want him, if your dream for him to play in college. But let me tell you something. I am more proud of what he's doing right now in his life than any basketball game I've ever been to, Joe. When a kid can call me and say, Dad, I got a new address. And it's a Wall Street address. His address is on Wall Street. Joe, I don't know about you. I didn't know nobody who had no Wall Street address before he got one. So we got a young man that came out of this community. That's my grandkids. His kids gonna grow up thinking a certain kind of way, Joe. That's
Yes,
why
sir.
this thing's so important. And I did not know anything about scholar athletes, and I am so good because I don't keep up with summer basketball that much. But guess what? I'm gonna keep up with y'all from now on. So I thank you, Jimmy, for
Yeah.
bringing Joe on the show. So if you want to comment, Joe, you can.
Yeah, well, like I said, through just growing up in the gym since 3 years old, every single day, my father ran the Park District program. I've seen kids, and they're 50, 55, 50 years old now, and to hear the story saying, hey, it wasn't for your dad, I wouldn't, I've been dead in prison or what have you. But one story in particular is Jerome Steinbeck is one of his first guys he had. Never played high school ball, got a scholarship to Indiana State, and never played high school. And he had, because of his, he had attitude issues, behavioral issues. But guess what he's doing now? He's working at a middle school as a counselor, working with behavioral issue kids. And he said, if it wasn't been for your dad, I wouldn't be in this situation. So that's what motivates me. It's way beyond basketball for me. Basketball is just a stepping stone to get you on with life. Period.
Indeed.
Coach, I would love to see a day that a lot of these athletes come back here from Houston that has been to Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, Princeton, and all them kids, and just come back here and just give back to this community, man. Let me tell you something. That's been a thing that's just, I have dreams about this stuff, Joe, because that's when I know that ain't the only thing, because I want them to go to HBCUs too. But guess what?
Oh, absolutely.
We need to go get some of that too. That's part of life too.
Absolutely.
You follow me? Yeah, Jim, I'm sorry. What you had, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that you mentioned about the players. The scholar athletes, your players are involved in community service projects as well, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. We've done shoe drives. We donated over hundreds of shoes to the homeless shelter for kids homeless shelters in the past. We do Christmas drives. We donate to, we call up a principal and say, hey, do you have some families in need for Christmas? And we'll donate to those families, get the pant size and shirt sizes and that type of thing. This past summer, most recently, when the team from Puerto Rico came down, I know you guys reported on that. When they came down, we raised some funds and got $500 together from them. So yeah, we always looking to do things within the community. The sad part about it is, and as far as the coaching part, is like I said, I'm big on community and trying to bridge and help the community. But sometimes with being a coach, I know someone was just talking about this the other day. I think it was Arrow. He said, people don't like me as a coach, they like me as a trainer.
Yeah.
And I think that resonated with me, because sometimes being a bench coach and coaching, it actually hurts your relationship with the community in some cases, because, but this kid or different situation, not playing time, or, so it's a lot of different other things that I don't like, the aspects I don't like about it that's kind of productive for what I'm trying to do. But at the same time, you just got to, you work with who believes in what you're doing, and that's what you move forward with. But yeah, we're big on community service projects. That's one of my biggest things.
I mean, Joe, it's refreshing to hear how you're molding these young men into and preparing them for manhood. And what are some of the other things that goes into a successful recipe that you're cooking over there with the scholar athletes that people may not know? I mean, there may be somebody, another coach in another city that has it, but something is missing, and as far as you might lose them. What else that they do that can you provide as a nugget for?
Well, one thing that I do that separates me from I think other organizations is we have when we set up our scheduling and that type of thing, is we have an actual skill day. We actually have 2 skill days. One is individual skill day, and the other one is team skill day. That's one thing that how we structure our practices. What does that mean? Like I said before, we could run sets all day long, and we could win some tournaments and win some games. But if you don't understand the concept of how to set a screen, how to move without the ball, how to make the proper cuts, how to make the proper reads in your skill itself, you're not going to be successful as an individual player. We want individual success. It breeds team success. So we don't just formulate a team and have success on a team. All of our kids can go play for any other program, and that coach is going to know right away. Matter of fact, I go to a camp sometimes. I forgot which one I was at, but I go to a camp and they'll say, I can tell which one of your kids, coach, just by how they play. I'm just telling you, they know right away, just by how we play the right way. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Also, the other thing is, I think our community needs to get back. We're trying to come up with ideas of how we could embrace each other a little bit more. And one of the things that I'm looking at is trying to help, and if anyone's interested, is sharing our resources. Meaning, if you're only like for us, it's a struggle because we're not sponsored, so our parents have to pay a lot of money, right? So imagine if I had like two or three other organizations that I work with. Now instead of having 2 practices a week, hey, you got skill over here on Monday. This team organization has skill over there on Tuesday. And we come together, we might get those kids 5 skill days, 4 skill days, instead of just trying to hold on to your own. So if anybody's interested, I'm looking to start a thing called the Coalition. With everybody that's like-minded as far as what we're doing, your skill, you still have your team practice day, but skill work is more important than anything else. So if I have my skill day, you invite it, and on your skill day, you invite it. We come together as coaches and coach them at the same time together, collectively. And that's what I'm about. I'm not about division. I'm about trying to bring people together.
The Coalition.
The Coalition.
Hey, Joe,
you heard
I'd
it
like
here
to
first.
add something, Joe, because yesterday we had some situations we was talking about on the show about the fragmentations of this community. And you came over here today, thank you so much, talking about the bringing together of the community. And Jimmy, what I would like to say, being a parent that went through this thing, I would like to make a statement about the parents. Parents, we have to stop being so selfish, okay? Parents, you get everything from these programs. You do everything you take from these programs. You benefit from these programs. And when your son is gone, you done forgot about the program. That's why the kids, Jimmy used to say the kid never go back and give back the program. I saw somewhere where Rossi, and when he's at a university, BU, and I went back, he had the first day of practice, the first day of thing, he had some of the old parents came back to volunteer. We got the parents. This stuff is a perpetual thing. Somebody else got some sons that need your help. We done got your son through. You can interject, Joe.
Yeah, one thing that we do at our program is when you're a part of our program, it's your program. It's not my program. It's not anybody else. It's your program just as well as it's mine. That being said, we have college. All of our old players, some of them didn't even play college ball. But guess what? When they come back home for the summer and spring break and that type of thing, they got a job with me. I give them a couple of dollars to come and help work with our kids. And some of them, they do it for volunteer, but, I want to take care of them a little bit because it's a nice little summer job for them. Right. So we're always willing to give back. I can't do this forever. It's, eventually somebody's got to take this thing over. Yeah. And so it's always about giving back. So when you're part of an organization, you go home for college. When you come home, you have a home, you have a job, you have a place to go. A lot of organizations, like I said, if you're not D1, they pretty much forget about it, especially if you're not D1. They pretty much, and it go both ways too, Mr. Hatter. Yeah. Sometimes the organization forget about you. You ain't panning out like they thought you would, so.
You got it. But my thing is, I'm coming from a parent point of view.
Yes, sir.
That's why I keep giving back to this community. Because I thank God it was an Alan Branch set up here and called all of them people about my son. I mean, and had those coaches sitting around at the games that he went to. So guess what? That's why I'm so. Let me tell y'all something. What Jimmy said, what you always say, Jimmy, input equal output. This community gave me something that I can. Let me tell you something. I can never repay it for. Because I got a happy child and a happy situation. So. And so that's why I do what I do to give back. It ain't, you don't owe me nothing. Y'all have given me, this community has given me so much. And I know I've given to the community, but I'm going to keep giving back. And so I'm saying, parents, don't get selective amnesia. Man, I'm done with them. No, it's some more kids, just like your baby, that need to be pushed along. and need to be helped. Thank you, Joe. I mean, that's really what I don't know. Last night I thought about this. The guys who've helped me get and my kid. So guess what? Give it back. So Joe, Jimmy, whatever. I know it's time to go.
That's. I mean, it's good nuggets, Joe. Now, how can, if somebody want to get more intel from you about you and your program, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can reach me on my cell phone directly at 832-746-8063. They could also reach out on our website, scholathletestx.org. Those would probably be the two best ways to reach us. We're very active on 832-746-8063.
Do that again, Joe. 832.
Yeah. 746-8063.
And what's that website again?
scholathletestx.org.
scholathletestx.org. I've just posted on the Facebook feed, and Heather can put it up on the screen or whatever for some of you guys that's on the YouTube feed can get it as well. And that is how you can visit. You can get. I mean, you might want to contact Coach Joe about his program. You're doing great things out there in North Harris County with the Scholar Athletes. And man, just keep on pushing. We thank you. Great convo, Coach. Now we look forward to you guys. And the thing is now.
Hold up, Jimmy.
You guys.
Sorry, Joe. What about social media,
yes,
Joe?
Sir. Yeah, social media is I don't even know my handles. I'm just not getting to the social media thing, man. This is they drive me crazy. I'm getting Twitter fingers that I don't know what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. I don't know what to do with that. So I'm still figuring that whole dynamic out.
Joe, I'll figure it out, Joe, because I got Jimmy sent me your tweet, so I know it's Scholar_athlete something like that.
Yeah.
Scholars TX.
Yeah, Scholars TX for Twitter. Okay. Yeah, for Twitter. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And on my Facebook, I just use my name, Joseph Walls Baldridge, for Facebook. And we also have, and that's the other thing, organizations I don't see a lot doing is I don't sit back and wait for people to promote my kids. You know, I film all my games as much as possible with help of parents and other people. I edit my own videos. You know, I'm up at, imagine this. Every game's an hour. You play 4 hours in a week. Now you got to rewatch the games. I take all my stats. I stat all my games after the games. Then I put the videos up. That's like a 2-hour process each game. So 2 hours time, that's another 8 hours after the tournament's over. I'm working.
So when do you sleep, Coach?
I work.
That's awesome, man.
I get all my sleep in when I can't wake up no more.
I got you. I like that.
That's awesome. Hey, man, we thanks so much, Joe. And you take out the time right now because you mentioned your players and your personnel. You did not mention the rest of your coaches.
Yeah.
This is the time now you can acknowledge the coaches and the rest of your staff with the Scholar Athletes.
Yeah. My assistant coach for the 16U is Coach Ewell Mellison. He's a retired postmaster, one of the first black postmasters on the West Coast. From the Vegas area. He has a plethora of knowledge with NBA players as well that he worked with. So he's a blessing to our program. And he came to us on the Nextdoor app saying he wanted to help and get back to the community, and it was a perfect fit for us. Another one is Kenneth Henry. Yeah. Kenneth Henry's another good one, another one of our coaches. He played at the University of Cincinnati, had almost a 20-year career playing overseas in Australia for the same team that Ball plays for now, or recently played for. He's also from the Chicagoland area, so we're like-minded with the toughness as far as developing toughness in kids. I know Coach Arrow, I need to call him because we talked about the same stuff. You know, it was like he was pulling out my mind yesterday. He's part of our group. We did have some coaches, the coaches come and go like some of the players do. But we have our staff is I'd say probably 90% of our staff, what I look for is either played and or coached college basketball. So that's one thing that I do look for as far as coaches. I don't just I love volunteers. I love volunteers, but also at the same time, I got to get somebody with my kids that's going to really help them, and not just want to help them, but are really able to have the knowledge and understanding of the game to really take their game to the next level. If you don't mind, if you have a few more seconds, I know you run at the end. Can I just run through my little roster? Can I run through my roster real quick? Because we ain't had a chance to do that.
Call them out.
Angel Johnson, you guys, a lot of you guys probably already know about him. He's a very special kid, very shifty, very understanding of the game. Attitude is correct for the game, tough-minded. Coaches dream to coach. Never gives attitude back, always willing to listen. He's been with us 9 years. This year, he's been just tearing it up. He's shooting close to 50% from behind the three. But he's so quick and shifty, it's hard to guard because he could knock down pull-up jumpers. He's very nice, very proficient at what he does. Low turnovers, great turnover-assist ratio.
How tall
Mason Carlo.
How tall is he?
He's 5'11".
Okay.
He's 5'11".
Tell him to give me 2 more inches.
Yeah,
I'll look at it.
I guarantee I'll get you that.
Okay.
He's gonna get those. He actually grew about 2 inches this summer. I know shoe size and everything. He got big hands and big feet. So I know his dad got some height on him too. Okay. Some nice height. Right. So I think he'll be fine. He's like a Jonathan Massey. It's another player that used to play for us way, but Jonathan Massey's an original scholar athlete. He's an original scholar athlete. I worked with him lifetime early in the morning before school. So that's one of my guys. Okay. Mason Carlos, he's a bull. Write it down, Jimmy. Write him down.
What you mean by bull?
He needs to be.
What you mean?
He's a bull, man. He's a bully bull. That's what he is. He uses
a football player, coach, or a basketball player bull?
He's a football player bull that plays basketball. He's a bully bull.
All right, I got you. Okay.
But he's 6'5", solid frame, can shoot the three. But he rebounds like a machine. I mean, that guy, he's tremendous. He's tremendous. He deserves recognition. Demi Areola, 6'7", long, very good footwork in the post, but also can step outside, working on his perimeter a little bit more now. But for a kid like that, people don't really realize and understand is when you have a kid that's 6'7", it doesn't mean he has to play back to the basket, but he can still finish around the basket. That's what people don't realize. Like you said, 2 or 3 dribbles at the most, he's at the basket. Now do your finishing thing. So he's crafty around the rim. That's all you need. So he's on his way to do big things. CJ Nunn is probably our most athletic kid next to Jalen Hill. But CJ Nunn has come a long way with his attitude and everything else. Not saying he had a bad attitude, but when you got on him, he had it's kind of regressed a little bit. Yeah. But he really came up this weekend, and we've been talking about holding each other accountable. And he made a key mistake that he usually, usually people make the same mistakes. That's what their improficiencies are. And he recognized that before I even got to say anything, he looked over to me, my bad coach, my bad team. And I had to congratulate him for that. Now you're growing up, CJ. Now you're understanding how life works. Micah Dees is probably the most underrated player, probably way underrated, along with Mason Carlos. Once again, shoots nearly 50%. He reminds me of a Mark Price type of player. He's very solid point guard. You're not going to take the ball from him. You're not going to speed him up. He always looks stoic. He doesn't get emotional one way or the other, and that's what you need as a point guard. He's been with us 3 years. Jalen Hill, that's a name that you're going to really be hearing a lot about in the next year. Jalen Hill. He's 6'7", jumps out the gym. Mr. Hatter, he can literally kiss the rim with his mouth. Literally, that's how he's jumping. Literally, I'm not even exaggerating.
What high school did you play, Coach? What high school?
Kingwood.
Oh, he at Kingwood too?
Yeah, him and Mason, that's the front court.
I got to come out there. I'll be out there. Keep going.
Yeah. Mike Pelletier, very good player. Just came with us for a year, so we're still working on some things as far as understanding the game. And, he's still pressing a little bit, trying to do a little bit too much to try to, be part of the team. But he's going to be great. He's going to do great things. I like what I see out of him. He's aggressive on the offensive end. Shot hadn't been quite far like he wanted to, but I know that's going to come. His moves, it's how he moves on the court. His defense is pretty decent, but I expect big things out of him as well. And we also have a kid, Zaki. I don't want to say the name wrong, but it's Nandawi. Now, this is a kid. Let me explain something about our program, Mr. Hatter and Mr. Hicks. Zaki came to us and wasn't quite ready for our team. You know, we have a highly talented team. So what I do, we only carry 7. But I am an honest player. That's one of those kids that at the end of the bench, and somebody might say, "Oh, he's just there because he's getting money." You know, he's just getting money from him. You know, you got those guys on, organizations like
the
that.
money kid.
Yeah, the money kid. So with us, my thing with him is I love developing kids, and I mean that to heart. So after our tryouts, he kept coming. My thing is I never cut kids. I just extend my tryouts, and I keep extending them, and the ones that keep coming, that's the team. So. And so he just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. So at the end, I said, look, this is what I'm going to do. He's going to have a jersey. I'm going to treat him just like a player on the team. I'm not going to discount his playing time or whatever he earns, he's going to get. But to start off, I'm only going to charge you for training. I'm not going to charge you for tournament fees or anything like that. So we have a clear understanding, because I do want to work with him. I don't want to take your money. I want to work with him. Gotcha. So that's a clear understanding that I do. I'm not out here trying to grab money from people, but I do want to see him be successful. So that's one of my projects that I'm working on, and that's one of the things that I'm proud of. Like I said before, some of the people that came through our program with 3+ years with us, like I said, AJ from the fam. Carter Dutton is another one from Summer Creek that's that's highly regarded in the Houston area. Very good talent. He was with us for 3 or 4 years. Christian Aspie, the shooter, he could really shoot the ball pretty well. He played with the Alpha Flex last tournament. Cameron Morrison played with us for 4 years. Tom Hart played with us for 3 or 4 years. So the proof is in the pudding. What we doing over here. Yeah. Proof is in the pudding. So,
Coach, we gotta get out of here. But we got a confused parent. Could you unconfuse her real quick? She said, "This kind of confusing the parents. I hate the extended forever trials. It feels like the coach don't like what he see." Could you help? Could you help her with that, Coach?
Well, my thing is this. I got that philosophy from my father, because once again, at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about basketball. So you might have a kid that get cut and never have opportunity to play for another team. Now they're in the street somewhere. So that's one of the things. Second thing is, especially when you're not one of those top main guys, the main guy's gonna know they're the main guy. They're gonna show up because they know they got a spot. But I'm talking about those 7, 8, 9, 10th, 11th, 12th guy like that, when it's really. We're very comparable in talent in that scene. I want to see who really wants it. I want to see who's going to show up every day. I want to see who, and I don't want to shortchange a kid either, because you might have I had a kid have a bad performance and shoot air balls and everything else, nerves or whatever, and come back and kill it the next day. So my thing is keeping them involved in our program as much as possible. We even split off in years past and had 2 teams on each level for those situations. So I'm willing to do that, so it's not really confusing when you have a conversation with the coach. Just like Zaki, for example. His mom was like, "Do you think he should still come? Hey, if he wants it, keep coming. I want to work with him, and that's what it is. It's not like I'm saying just keep coming, but have a dialogue with the parent and see where they stand. And I'll tell you, look, if he does make the team, he's going to be like an 8th, 9th guy starting and off, and we'll try to see where we go from there. And they might say, hey, it's another team down the street where I can start on. That might happen too.
Hey, man. Hey, nuggets all over the place. Golden nuggets, man. Thanks so much, Joe Baldridge with the Scholar Athletes, man. It is that time. We are in overtime. It's time to land that plane, Coach. We appreciate it, man. We love what you're doing over there, and I'm quite sure you picked up a lot of followers, a lot of interest from a lot of the viewers in our YouTube as well as our Facebook platforms. We're going to ask you guys once again to share the show to your timelines if you haven't done so. Let's finish this week on a great note on this Baby Friday. Once again, if you haven't shared the show, please do so. If you're on our Facebook feed, take out the time to slide over to our YouTube page. That's Chop Shop HTX, and subscribe to our YouTube page. And if you would do that, that will help increase our digital footprint on that platform as well. Once again, go over and subscribe to our YouTube page. It only takes about 10 seconds. If you're on YouTube right now watching, I see your Herb Ladie, I see your Mo Cities, I see your Dr. Newsom, I see your HTX Sports, Donovan Rice in there, I see your Johnny Johnson, all and some more and more over there right now. Give us a thumbs up on that YouTube page. And last but not least, I want to update you guys that many of you had questions about the other scheduled guests that was supposed to come on today, and that was Lupe Nunez. Hell, I'm sure glad Lupe didn't come on today now, because we would have missed all these nuggets. We would have to contract the time slot for Joe Baldridge and the Scholar Athletes if Lupe would have came. So you see how it all worked out.
Jim, I know you don't want to say it. I help you. See how God works, but keep going, Jim.
Oh, Deacon had over there today, but Lupe has sent a message, and he has confirmed, because I had mentioned earlier to somebody it was either going to be Monday or next Thursday, and Lupe has clarified. He just got out of his meeting that's the reason why he couldn't come on. He had a mid-afternoon meeting with his staff from his company, and so he's going to join us a week from today, next Thursday. Because he's the originator of the phrase he's not the originator of the phrase. He attributed the phrase to the Chop Shop, which we apply Baby Friday to this day. Of course, it's been used before, but we applied it to the Chop Shop. And so Lupe was the reason behind that. So he feels comfortable coming on Baby Friday. So next Thursday, Lupe Nunez, the highly anticipated convo. And of course, you missed out. He's formerly the Texas Hard Work and one of the founders of that program, which has been sponsored by Under Armour. And he basically gave up an Under Armour deal, and now he's going to join forces and with the JL3 program that's under the Nike umbrella, spearheaded and by John Lucas and the family, John Lucas Enterprises. So that's going to be really intriguing, that conversation. Thanks again to everybody so much.
Oh, yes. And
hopefully, when we come back on Monday, mind you, understand that there could be the Lakers and Rockets series could be still going on. Hopefully.
Or it could be over.
Or it could be.
Or the Rockets be going to sweep them all out.
Or it could be over. But hopefully, it would still be in effect. Well, it is 2-1 right now, so that means all the Rockets have to do is win tonight. That's a 6 p.m. tip-off, or win on Saturday, and we will be having a lot to talk about going into Monday's game. Remember, they play in this round of the playoffs for most teams. Of course, also the Kansas City Chiefs host the Houston Texans this evening. That's a 7:20 kickoff, and so that means your smart TVs will be in full effect, and your picture, whatever, however you got your setup, is going to be popping tonight. And far as if you are a Houston sports fan or follower. So once again, guys, we got to tip our lid to Joe.
I appreciate you guys. Bless you guys. I appreciate you guys having me. And I just want to do the yabba dabba do us out of here. Yabba dabba do us.
Just go on, just do it. Do it.
Hey, join us next Monday for another happy hour at 12 o'clock. For now, we're going to have yabba dabba do us out of here.
I like that, Joe. Yeah.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter, you are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro, let's get it. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up, it's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop, we live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk, we live in the Chop Shop.